every time.
Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I was also partially reading the comments as we came in. And I'm like, what is happening? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Writer's Room. You are on my channel, TLRS. This is where we sit down, we talk to everybody, we help you with all of your writing conversations. It's going to be a great day because I'm already having problems with simple words. So we should be good. I'm going to blame a couple of people in the chat. Y'all know who you are. And I'm going to let my co-host take it away. Miss Morgan Lee, go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Morgan Lee. I'm indie author of 2 books, first 2 in a dark fantasy trilogy, with book 3 releasing this summer. Throughout the rest of April, I'll be hosting pop-up sprints so I can finish my book. I'll also be hosting a stream for Michael C.B. Chin's write-a-thon this weekend or next weekend. And the poetry open mic night with JC on my channel at 5 Eastern. No. Yes.
Nope.
5 Eastern. 4 Central.
We're doing great, guys. We're doing great.
Yeah. Me.
Oh, so my name is Barrett. I am 1/3 of this great group. On my channel, I now do chronic illness content. So if you like vlogs where it's lots of me and my dogs, then I only have one dog, then come on over and join me. And yes, that is a real rumor, JC, that people heard and maybe are spreading around on.
You guys are so hilarious. Shannon was here, or is here. She's lurking, but wanted to congratulate Morgan on her word count, which has been awesome as of late. I can't do the fun things on my computer, but
yeah, I'm over.
This is not a true rumor that I am trying to fire Barrett and hire JC, although we're not opposed to having JC on. I've heard a rumor that JC is on.
She's our next guest.
June. Yeah.
She's our next guest next month.
Guest in June.
She signed up and then she didn't say no. Remember?
So that's what I heard. Yeah.
She's locked in now.
Yeah.
Yep, locked in. We said it online. It must be true.
And I do agree, Barrett is not replaceable. But I do like Eva, who is like, are you getting paid?
In love. I'm paid in love.
Not yet, Eva. Also, hey, friend, text you back after, which is fun. And I don't know if I say I'm a strict boss.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just gonna leave it at that. So I'd have real deadlines if Tiff was my boss. Oh yeah, that part. Yeah, that's probably true. So I believe that's and we're not blaming Miss Regina Duke. Regina is awesome. We adore her. I'm telling you, the people who know, they know. If you know, you know, you know. And I agree, Regina. She's like, not me that I know of. That's a sign for Bradley to get a sister. So
yes to this. Yes to this.
Thank you, JC, for dropping the Google form in here for our poetry night. For a second, I thought you dropped the Google form to sign up for the writer's room so you didn't have to be on. And I was going to tell you, nope, that's not going to count.
So next month, JC is our guest. Don't miss it.
Yeah, but June, not next month. We actually won't be here next month because
that's right. June.
All of us have stuff.
That's right. That's right. That is right. So June.
This one. I am not strict. I'm just very structured. Yes, I like this statement. That sounds good. There is a difference, Eva. There is a total difference. So yes, well, I think you're agreeing with what I said and that semantics are coming into things. I mean, maybe. All right, guys. So we have something fun planned for you, which is similar to what we have done before. And I'm going to borrow one of our favorite people's little statements. It's not a ripoff. Thank you, Mr. Richard Holiday, for that. What we're doing, we know how much you love when we do Eva.
Yeah, you just saw that. That was funny.
So is the military.
I think that's
Tiff
true.
would be that kind of. I mean, I was raised in a military family, so it's very possible. We are going to. We have done the. Eva is killing me. We have done the prompts before, where we do a prompt, and each of us take a moment and we write something to the different prompts, put it all together, and make a story. And you guys seem to love that. So today we're doing a spinoff of that, in which we are going to take a prompt, but we're going to show you how, because all of us write in different genres, we write different lengths, we write different types of characters. We're going to show you how we would take the same prompt and work it into how we would draft a story.
Mm-hmm.
So we came up with a prompt. The prompt is: someone participates in a seemingly innocent game that suddenly takes a turn. Yay!
I like this.
Love it.
So I don't know about the then publish it.
Well, maybe.
Never know.
Do I hear writers from anthology? I mean, we don't know. Okay, so why don't we start with everybody saying what's their comfort genre or preferred, I guess, space to write in.
Okay. Mine is fantasy of any subgenre. So dark fantasy, cozy fantasy, epic fantasy, just fantasy in general.
Yeah.
Yes, I would probably agree, but for this exercise, because of the prompt and the way it's written, I think I'm going to go nonfiction.
Oh.
I have an idea. So
very interesting.
I think, yeah.
My comfort zone is probably paranormal romance, but I think, like Barrett, I'm going to do something different for this one. I'm going to go contemporary romance, which is also a favorite type of genre for me. So Eva said, drama tragedy is how I take this. Nice.
Yeah, I like that.
JC said, interesting, Barrett.
Yeah, actually, I like this. Tell us what they would do.
Ooh, very interesting indeed. Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
by
I hope I
all
don't
means,
fail
drop
you.
how you would do it in the comments. Like if you would
Yeah.
do something totally different than what we would do, by
Yeah.
all means. We also, because we all outline differently, I generally am more of a discovery writer. I accidentally called one of the ways that Morgan writes a cloud or outline a cloud.
Yes, Eva, 100 to that erotica for this.
It could go erotica.
Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could see that too.
100.
So, you know, Barrett you tend to be more save the cat, right?
Yeah, usually.
Okay.
But for this, it's gonna be a little different. But yes, I can reference that. So, yes, it would be a good thriller. Yeah, agree.
JC said mine would be mystery thriller, and a body turns up as they play a game of D&D.
Oh,
that's interesting.
That's fun. I actually really like that.
Jennifer said I would go YA contemporary because of the prompt. She's like 100.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you start, Morgan? Like where would, in the sense of not a cloud, but a snowflake?
Well, the first thing I do is is just get a summary of the idea. So with this prompt, I would want to know what game and then what's the turn. So that's usually that's probably where I would start with this prompt. For cozy fantasy, I'm thinking of like, I don't know. I have it in my head like they were playing like a regular children's game, and then something magical happens that they don't expect, and everything takes a turn. Since I like dark stuff, usually takes a turn for the worse, and then
Yep.
Disaster will strike somehow.
Yeah.
So
kind of like Jumanji, but with a darker twist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like an
And like a
innocent.
regular board game, like Sorry, or like some old mystical game they find in a basement of like an old aunt's house or something. You know what I mean? Like which way would you?
Like even like a game of tag or a game of hide
Okay.
and seek, or
I like that.
Okay. I like that. It's more, it
Red
could happen to
Rover.
anybody anytime.
Yeah,
Red Rover.
they run over
Portal
and then they
fantasy.
disappear.
Portal fantasy, right? Yeah. Oh, I like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See what JC
Yeah.
said.
JC said, Morgan, a game of hide and seek, and they tumble upon a secret portal to another realm.
Right.
Sky said,
That
like
energy.
Wickets.
Yeah.
Not
Hide and seek, and then you see someone murdered on accident. Could work. Hopscotch,
Ooh.
but you fall into a portal.
I like that.
So yeah, I like these ideas.
But then I was also,
Mhm.
I don't know, I was also thinking of like, I don't know where this idea came from, but it's some kind of like mystical like marriage ceremony or a ceremony from like childhood to adulthood that everybody has to do. Like you have to go through this game in order to move on and get your powers or something. And then so the main character is going through this game, and then all of a sudden something happens. I don't know. This is the things that happen. I just think of ideas and I try to put them together.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Okay, Barrett, going nonfiction. I'm very curious. Where are we taking this?
So to talk a little bit about like the difference between the way I'm going to approach this and the way I would in the past, like if I were doing Save the Cat and this were fiction, even if it was a short story, I'd probably start at the inciting incident. So this would probably be, I'd be looking for what is going to make this thing turn. But for this, where I got the inspiration is a little different. So if I'm thinking of it from nonfiction, I'm thinking about what I've been talking about a lot lately. So whether it's a script for a YouTube video or maybe some sort of line I'd like to put in a nonfiction book, I'd say something like, someone participates in a seemingly innocent game called life that suddenly takes a turn that you could never have expected. And that turn is chronic illness. And then I can spin it into wherever I want to go with that next line, right? Like, am I talking about a particular thing I have to overcome? Or am I going to do a list of things that I'll touch on later in like subsequent chapters? But that would be where I'd start from. So similar to an inciting incident, just a way to take the prompt from like what it is for everybody to like what it's going to be for my story, or what I'm going to tell. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the idea of game of life though. That's very
well, that's what I thought of first time I saw it. I thought, oh, it's kind of like the game of life, and then the turn that it takes is like me thinking about like my chronic illness journey, and that was definitely a turn. And then that kind of opens you up to talk about whatever. I can list off the different changes, different change in friends, change in lifestyle, change in family that you distance from that are jerks through a pandemic could be a whole chapter. So
I could easily see a pandemic being a chapter.
Right, but that's what
that was a whole turn none of us expected the game of life to take.
Can care.
I going contemporary romance would probably lean a little bit closer to kind of Morgan, but it would maybe be something like either like a friends to lovers or an enemies to lovers kind of conversation where maybe they're playing like strip poker with a group and someone sees something that like strikes their fancy. Or like they're doing maybe some type of like truth or dare with shots, and like two friends maybe get drunk, and then
like what could go wrong?
Exactly. Like the truth actually comes out of how one of them feels, and it just takes a turn. It doesn't say it goes bad.
No, I know. I was in there thinking like of all the games I wouldn't want to do like shots of tequila to. That's probably one.
Maybe something comes out that, one of them has feelings for the other one, or, maybe they both always had a crush on each other, or the reason why this person has always been mean to them is because, that secretly they're harboring some type of crush. So
I like
yes,
that. How do you narrow it down? Like, how would you choose?
That's a good question. I have a tendency, again, because I'm more of a pantser or a discovery writer, I have a tendency to sometimes sit with an idea for, like a little stretch of time to see which one sparks. Because sometimes I get great ideas, but then nothing sparks as like, ooh, how would a story evolve from that? Like, what would happen from that moment? And then,
okay.
but then other times it does pop in. And then I'm like, oh, this is what would happen, or this is what the twist would be. Like, okay, so they said that they like each other, but maybe guy's girlfriend is sitting right next to him as he says that he's always had a crush on his best friend. And maybe that's the twist. Because now girlfriend's upset. Friend is like, oh, I've always had a crush on you too. Everybody's drunk, and then we all go crazy. So I would try to figure out which one like sparks some more ideas. And then once I figured that part out, then I would decide which one. But that's a good question, because Morgan, you do.
I was going to ask Morgan.
More
what about
outlining,
you?
and you actually had like a couple of different ideas as well. How do you narrow it down?
Right. How would you decide? Or let's say like the dark turn. How would you decide which dark turn you'd take once the magical thing happens? Drinking game, but they spiked your drink. #thriller.
Easy.
I don't know, 'cause I feel like every book is different. I don't outline the whole thing normally, because normally I get bored, and then I'm tired of outlining, and then I need to start writing. Then I'll write a little bit, and then I'll reach a point where I'm like, okay, I don't know what happens now. So then I'll outline again and try to just like brainstorm. Okay, so this could happen, and then if that happened, then this could happen. So either I have to write it, like I have to write it first to see if that would work. And then if it does, then I'll stick with that. But if it doesn't, then I'll try to brainstorm like different ways that it could go.
Yeah.
And then also like depending on the theme I'm going for in the story and what I want like the characters to learn through it. So yeah.
I like it. I'm going to go through the comments real fast, and then I have a question for you, Barrett, on this.
Yes, sir, ma'am.
Okay. Follow the leader, but actually genocide, kind of like a Pied Piper. For
that is dark.
Kissy thing or something. Either came up with 7 minutes in heaven. I like where this is going, Morgan, for you, except there's a portal or the other person is a robot or a clone or a vampire. I would love to play with the vampire idea. That would be fun. Like a bat mitzvah, not at all how it's spelled, which Morgan then corrected bat mitzvah, I think. And I think that's closer. I'm still not positive.
Not enough.
Okay. Eva, love the idea for you, Barrett.
Thank you.
7 minutes in a closet is actually another world, and those 7 minutes translate into a year in the other world would be very interesting, JC.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that too.
Write that story.
What if it's an entire lifetime and they are sad to leave but can never return? That full on reminds me of kind of like Chronicles of Narnia in a sense. So that's fun, like the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe one. Everybody's loving that, JC. Like, I love that, Barrett. Smart. You should write
someday.
Right, Barrett should totally write books. I'd love to see him publish fiction, but he'd be great at nonfiction too, which is very, very true. Hangman, if you lose, you literally die. I'm a little nervous about the way that Eva's things are all slanted towards some type of thriller.
Murder. I like it.
MASH, but now you live in a shed with 11 kids.
Oh.
Which I feel like could also be murder or death.
Now it's cosmic horror.
Chess with a stranger in the park who then dies.
Laura.
As he dies, he hands you something. That might be interesting.
Oh, I love that prompt.
Cool gamer
great,
came in
Eva.
high.
Hi.
Is it just me? Was the 2 always on Cool Gamer's name?
No.
I think it's a backup account.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I didn't think so. Drinking game, but they spiked your drink. We all talked about that. Y'all remember that game you did with the paper where you wrote your possible future outcomes and then moved the paper
Oh, yeah.
a certain number of times to pick your house or your husband, your house, number of kids, etc. That would be an interesting one to play with where you like screwed with some people. Card game, unexpected wagers. That would be fun.
Ooh, like that, like that.
Like, what if the things you chose actually became your future, but it didn't turn out for the best? Mm-hmm. That would be interesting. Eva, you are on fire. Yes, but she's killing everybody. Yes. It ain't no Texas. This ain't no Hold'em. Little Beyonce shout out. Yeah, that was MASH for me. LOL. Mansion, apartment, shed, shack, house. Okay, yes, I thought that might have been what it was called. I couldn't remember. That was what made me think of it when you said MASH. Willy Wonka retelling meets this prompt. Could be interesting. I feel like Laura could take this prompt, who just popped in. Hey, Laura, and go all kinds of horror, disturbing, like crazy ways. We have some hellos for Laura.
I like this idea of kiss, marry, kill, but it happens. That's a good
that's good.
Kiss, marry, kill. Yeah.
That actually would be a good title for like
yeah. What if it's all the same person? Like you kiss someone, then you have to marry them, but then eventually
you have to kill them.
Then you kill them.
All the same person.
I was thinking it'd be a great like thriller to figure out like who did, each.
So yeah, LOL. Eva, we also had a MASH version, mansion, apartment, ranch, shack, house. We have another version of it, Kiss, Marry, Murder, which could be a good title as well. Laura saying, I wish I could come on, stuck with all 3 kids on my own right now. Oh, Laura.
Hang in, Laura. Hang in. Laura's living through the MASH, 11 kids in a shed.
Right? Match, Marry, Murder, a game of cougars. That would be interesting. Like a whole ring of cougars. I could see that.
No, but I'm thinking she's meaning like lady cougars, right, Eva?
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so Barrett, I have a question for you in the sense of
I may have an answer.
With nonfiction.
Okay.
Because we all liked how you were taking the prompt. How would you outline that in like a Save the Cat or like a 7-act structure or something like that? Or 3-act structure even?
Yeah, so I think, like I said, I think it would have to be 3, right? Because I don't think I'm going to pull off 7. If I have to break down probably somewhere between 4 to 7 points to have enough like words, like chapters, to have pages, to have a full like book. Does that make sense? So I think 3. I think, like I said, I'd start with the prompt and how I'd take it to lay out what my thesis is, or my my main idea that I want to land on at the end. And then I have to have different points where I ask crucial questions. So just kind of like in Save the Cat, just more truncated. So somewhere in the middle, I need to have some sort of a aha moment that sort of changes my view from one way to another, but not quite land where I want the readers to be at the end. That's going to have to come after my Dark Night of the Soul. So for something like this, for example, if I'm thinking through how I would do that, it would look like, all right, so the turn is the chronic illness. So then I'm going to talk about in 5 to 7 chapters. So that would probably be one about the pandemic, one about the friends I lost whenever I got chronically ill, just the shift in your relationships because your whole kind of mindset shifts. Then I think you do talk about like career and how like career is impacted, or how it was for me. And then relationships as far as more internal. So your spouse, your partner, your lover, whatever that role is for you. Then I think I'd talk about the goals and dreams that I thought were over, but then shifted for me, right? So, which would be my bridge to my dark night of the soul, because I'd kind of be bridging you to, okay, all these things changed, but then here, I found that I had these goals that I wanted to hit. I may not hit them because of the Crohn's thing, so they just had to adjust, which is going to get closer to where I want us to be, but then I have to have some really big setback. So that would probably be, I'm just trying to think. Probably the best would be when my health insurance company set me off of my Remicade for the first time. So that was like a year and a half into my disease. So I could easily draw a through line through that first year and a half, and then have that first setback that made me really, really sick and go back into a flare. That's like the dark night of the soul that, well, maybe I can't go back to teaching or working or whatever. I can have a chapter to kind of woe is me, or end in that cliffhanger way, to go to the end of how I come out of that. So on the fly, I probably can't figure out what that would be, but given time, I could probably think through what point in my life would be the like through line to sort of tie them all together. So I would like to write this. She just gave this to us this morning.
I know it was random conversation. But I do agree. I think that that's great, because I think that it's very interesting. I don't know if people think of how we could use what we use as fiction outlines for something that's nonfiction, if we decide to go ahead and go that route. So I think that was a great breakdown of kind of how you would put it together, especially from someone who rarely outlines. But
but I don't get deep. Like outlines aren't.
Have you saved the cat here in case I decide to?
I still have the digital, so it's like I still have
me too.
So one of these days I'll get through it, as opposed to just skimming through when I'm like, what's the fun in games again?
Oh, Eva, that actually would be really, really good.
Is it
I would read that essay. Yes.
If I tried to tie this to a nonfiction at the moment, I'd be grounded around, it'd be around grief. Yeah, I could see that.
I would see if you could find some sort of a nonfiction journal. And again, write that. I would help you edit it and get it ready for submission, because that would be from the heart. Yeah. Best kind.
I think that would be cool. Okay. So in the sense of, if we were going to write these wonderful ideas that we've got. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Somebody else had another idea that was really cool that I forgot. Because they went with the cougar idea, and JC's like, that could be more dangerous than a Game of Thrones. And then Eva's like, one is a lawyer, one is a medical examiner. They maybe set him up to cheat first for a reason to murder. It's when one of the cougars decides to marry a lady that she comes undone because her new wifey is too smart. It all gets uncovered and survives herself. So they went down a whole thing with the cougars. And I don't know if Eva wants to write it. She just says, I'll beta read it.
Okay. Well, Laura, did she write the prompt? Is that what's at 1:30?
Yeah, I know. I was looking at Laura's too. She said sardines, reverse hide and seek, but the place everyone ends up hiding is haunted. Bodies start dropping, but the door can only need open from the outside. As each kid enters the closet to join the hiders. It gets more claustrophobic.
Kill me now.
The dead are maneuvering to the floor so the living can rise above them.
Let me out.
I told you Laura would take it in dark and disturbing ways.
There's gonna be some fat little kid trying to get in past me. I'm pushing him out of the way. Get out of my way. Let me out of here. Nope, can't do it. I have
Oh, Laura,
anxiety
you
just
don't
listening to
disappoint,
it.
hon. You don't disappoint. I knew Laura would take it somewhere where all of us would just be
Yes.
like, "Where's my emotional support blankie?"
Oh, I would need it.
This is why we love you, Laura. Okay, so if you were going to write it, and I love that Morgan says that she doesn't outline the whole thing, she just outlines certain parts or the beginning until like.
I actually don't know that I knew that about you, Morgan, before today. I actually don't think I ever actually knew that.
Yeah, I'm not positive I knew that either.
Yeah, because I
But
get
we
real
should have.
bored.
But we should have known that because we're always with her when she gets to a part, and then we're helping her
Yeah,
think
and I
through
get
ideas.
stuck,
So we
and I
should
have
know
to
that. Like,
re-outline.
it all made sense to me when she was explaining. I was like, wait
And
a
I
minute.
get ideas to
I never
get me
knew
over the
this, but
hump.
this actually makes perfect sense now.
Yeah.
Well, but I always, okay, I guess in my head though, because you are right, we are with her when she starts to re-outline.
Yeah.
But in my head, I think I always thought, especially because you're like that person. What was it when you came up with the Cozy Mystery series? You were like, so I'm going to try to outline like the whole series or something like that.
Mhm.
And then you kind of made it sound like maybe you did outline them. So I think in my head, I thought you have a whole outline. You just reevaluate the outline when you get to a part where you're stuck or where it doesn't make sense anymore.
Well, and you know where you're going to
Only-
end, right? Don't you usually know like your ending point? Oh, you don't?
I know nothing. I know nothing.
Wow, you hide that so well. I would
I
never
didn't
have
know
known
where
that.
book 2 was
know!
going. I didn't know where book 3. I didn't barely even knew where book 1 was going. But
Oh.
yeah.
Hmm.
And then the cozy one, those are the only ones I've outlined completely from beginning to end. And it's not a great outline, but like those are the only ones I've outlined completely. And that was just so I can write it faster. Because the drafting part is hard. So
I'm with JC. You know nothing, Jon Snow? That's because I don't outline, but I generally know where all of my stories are ending.
it's a mystery.
Yeah, I was gonna say I usually
They don't always
if I,
end there, but I generally know where they're
yeah,
I'm looking
same.
at.
I usually know where I'm yeah, I always know where I'm taking off the plane. I know where the plane is gonna start to fall out of the sky, and I know that it's gonna land.
Yeah.
Those are my
Yeah.
3 things I know.
No,
And then I can leave the rest to like figure out if I need to.
Yeah, I don't think I ever know the ending. I probably know the beginning and the middle, a little bit of the
What's
middle.
scary about that is you have some great endings, especially to like really quick flash fiction and short stories.
Right?
Yeah, the endings are the least like thought out.
Or things that make you go, oh, I want to know what happens next.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Like that
what?
creepy song that one time.
So yeah, that's wild. Yeah, I always for me to start writing, like I have to at least kind of how you said, Barrett, I have to know where we're taking off, where we're landing, and almost like I don't know if it's necessarily when the plane starts to fall out of the sky, but mine is more like where's the twist. So because a lot of my stories have some type of twist in there somewhere where it's something that you think is going to happen, and then maybe something different happens, or you know, like are y'all still trying to remember the song?
No, I can't. Just her throwing up those.
No, but they're killing me. They're like, OMG, that song.
No, but
I
it's
love
so
that
true.
song.
I mean, it was
How did
good.
Creep
It
me
was
the
good.
F
It was
out.
scary,
Like,
but it was good.
Happy
It made
Kitty.
that story.
Sleepy Kitty. Oh wait.
Right.
Purr.
Happy baby, sleepy baby, burn the baby down. I don't know, it was something that stuck with me for a long time. So what did Regina say? I know where my stories are
I don't know if
landing.
Morgan remembers how it goes.
She does.
Yeah.
Oh.
Regina said, I know where my stories are landing because I write genre fiction, and sometimes I write the epilogue early. So I finished the first 4 chapters because fanfic just turned me freaking loose. Now, you know what's funny though? Sometimes to Regina's thing, I do this as well. Like I will write the epilogue early or like the ending early because I have it in my head. Like a story that I'm currently thinking of now, I have the ending in my head. And almost every time I do that, that's when I don't end. where I think I'm supposed to end, where the story just completely takes a
Interesting.
left turn. And I'm like, oh, wow, that epilogue was really great. I'll never use it.
That's it. That's it. I don't have the power to put it on screen, but Morgan got it.
Oh,
Hi, Richard. Welcome, Richard.
I think it was silly baby,
happy baby, sad baby cries.
Mama's little baby,
Mama's
no
little
more
baby,
screams or
no more
sighs.
screams or sighs.
I guess I do remember it. Yeah. Hey, Richard, we used your line earlier. We're doing
We did.
It's what did I say? It's
a spinoff, not a ripoff.
We will get you on here, Richard. We will get you on here. Speaking of that, if any of you ever have any issues you would like to come on, you can always fill out the form.
We have a form.
To join us. I know.
Just
we're
like
trying to be
AA.
special.
I know.
Even said it best. This is a spinoff.
It's a
spinoff. Decisions. Yes, come on. It's not a ripoff, it's the spinoff.
Richard was devastated when I told him I took that video down.
That would be great if it was the ending to my next story. Unfortunately, I don't even think that it's still that one either.
So
Richard,
you can't repurpose it. I have.
You look
I don't know exactly how much at this point because we're however many weeks in. Why, thank you.
Although
leave it to the method. Why, thank you, Eva. Heart, your friend.
All right, so these are how we would kind of plot the stories. How would we go about starting them? Like, do you because I sometimes will start at the beginning, but sometimes I hop around. Sometimes I go straight forward, like from beginning to end, no stops. Which way do you guys do best? Do you start at the beginning and then hop around, or do you go with whatever is in your head and just write that? How would you generally go into writing this story?
I can only write in chronological order. So I have to go from beginning to end. So I've tried skipping around. It doesn't really work because then I get lost of where did this scene go? I don't know. So yeah, I would write from beginning to end. That's why I never know what happens at the end.
Get that.
Okay. So in fiction, I skip around and I use a reward system. So like the scenes I know I'm going to like writing, like fight scenes or in romance, I hated writing schmexy scenes, right? So like I would make myself write those first and then reward myself with something I liked, like a meet cute or something fun, that I enjoyed writing. So that's how I would do fiction. Though for nonfiction, probably chronological, because I'd want to keep the thread or try to keep the thread as I go. And it would make it easier to cut when I'm writing chronologically points back to a previous point. And that just goes from like master's thesis was the same, it was the same way I wrote those. So I don't know.
Okay.
That was a lame answer for what you think.
But I'm also trying to figure out what's happening over here. Richard, Morgan and Tiffany, Miffy,
Torgan.
Which Morgan does think Torgan's a good name, but I'm like, cute. What is happening? Torgiffany? Like, what is going on?
Oh my goodness. More Giffany. I do like more Giffany.
And then Richard goes, what's a meet cute? To which Georgina's like, meet cute, you silly man. Oh, Richard, we missed you. I'm like, what's going on? But Eva did ask Richard, which way would you take this prompt, genre-wise? And Richard said, thriller. Something
okay.
Going very awry, probably some blood and guts.
Yes.
Or like disaster movie vibes, which I think could be interesting in a disaster movie kind of thing. What if they're on a plane? Like someone's teaching something and like the game is, can you fly the plane? But like the plane goes wrong in some way. And now it's like
a game?
land. Almost like Speed, but in the air.
Okay.
Do we want random people flying a plane? I feel like I
Maybe
haven't
somebody else was on the plane. And Eva, meat cute equals meatloaf.
Right, exactly.
Meat cute over meatloaf. JC agrees with you about maybe we don't want people.
I'm just terrified. Tiffany's like, a fun game of like the kid drives the plane. I'm like, fun for who? Who's having fun?
On the plane. I know. Great movie callback. Don't call me Shirley.
Ned makes a good meatloaf.
I actually would probably, I don't know, because the prompt says the whole game thing, I probably would start off writing the scene with the game. And then work my way back to how we got to the game, and then work my way forward from what comes of the game. I think that probably for me would maybe be the easiest way to do it, since the game is so pivotal to the story. Is that a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask the group a question?
Yes.
So if you could take one word out of this, would it change your story? And what word would you take out?
Ooh. Innocent.
Same.
I was thinking the
same. Because I'm telling you, if you got rid of the word innocent, I can think of so many other ways I'd take this. But it's like the idea that I'd have to come up with an innocent game felt limiting.
Yeah.
But no, innocent is the word I would remove. And yes, I think you could write it differently without it.
Because if we took out innocent in the sense of writing it differently and I went paranormal, what I could think of is that it's a game of truth and dare, and the dare is for an innocent person to go into, say, like a vampire den and come out alive, but she doesn't. You know, and then that takes a whole nother turn.
Oh, love it. Okay, that was fun. Sorry, that was a side hustle question. Took us down the spiral.
If you took out the word innocent, where would it go for you?
Probably fiction dark. And I love Eva's Russian roulette. That's exactly what I was thinking of. I don't think you could say Russian roulette
isn't the one you expected. Ooh.
I didn't think of that. The Russian roulette was the idea I had. But that's where I would go with it. But you couldn't say that was innocent, I don't think. In today's America, no. I don't think we should be saying that.
You guys get, what if the game is skydiving?
Nope. Immediately.
Now you're in a plane. No. Imagine the story set in a flying restaurant of some kind.
I won't go. I won't eat.
Steaks on a plane. So yes, JC said I probably would start with the game and someone finds the body, being one of the people invited to play the game, and then flash back to some time earlier, which is a great way to do it as well.
I don't disagree. That's good.
So yeah, what would you do, Morgan, because yours was already kind of could go fantasy dark. So if you took out innocent, then would it go darker, or would it go just to a totally different place where you started with a different type of game?
It would go darker, and the game would change.
Okay.
Because innocent game, that kind of makes me think of like, you just sat down to play Monopoly with your family. The sky fell down,
right.
The stakes were really low in the beginning. Like, you thought the stakes were low, and then they turned out to be extremely high. But if you take out innocent, then the game is probably one that's dangerous, or one that already has heavy consequences with it.
Yeah.
I feel like it would turn it darker.
Yeah.
And it'd be like the character will already know, like, I'm gonna start playing this game, and it's a life or death. They're gonna
Type of
kill my
situation.
mom type situation or something. So
Mhm.
I think it just changes the tone, especially at the
Yeah.
start of the story.
I
think so
agree.
too.
Eva said, wait a minute, that's not Eva. I'm getting there though. What is happening? Because the comments are moving too fast. That's what's going on. Okay.
I don't think Laura's done. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
catfishing is the game. The turn is that you're now stuck in a love triangle with yourself, and you're not the one winning the affection of the love interest.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Am I not smart enough to understand? So I'm in a love
Wait a minute.
triangle
Yeah,
with my.
hold on. Okay.
with yourself
Catfishing
and somebody else.
Yeah. Oh, I think I get it. Okay, so what is it like? You are catfishing the person, but you meet them in real life. So you're stuck in a love triangle between the
where you're
version you made up and who you really are, but they're falling
like
for the
them
person
better.
you made up.
That's so great.
Is that where we're
so
going
great.
with that?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, and that's really good. Someone write that.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
I like that a lot.
But it took some thought. It was like, wait a minute, what?
I know.
I like Richard. I love Monopoly. Because Marty said, like, you're sitting down for a game of Monopoly with your family. Ooh, you can't pay the rent for my hotel. Oh. Richard.
That does not sound like
family.
That is not a family game, Richard.
That's a different contemporary romance. Okay, so I think Laura's kind of got an idea here because it's Laura. 3, 2, 1. The voices of the other kids is muffled through the door of the closet under the stairs. I'm the initial hider. The ones will seek me out and join me until the final seeker is the last person to open the door and end the game. Winter coats stifle my breath, hanging all around me. Phantom arms caress my neck. Unseen fingers press against my carotid artery. I must stay. Scrolling. Still, keep silent, but my hair stands on end as a voice whispers just behind the shell of my ear. Victoria. I'm going to just pull up my emotional support blanket. Thank you. Actually have played Strip Monopoly, Richard. That's a whole different story. We're not going to go there.
It's too slow. It's too slow.
Very weird conversation.
It's too slow. It's too slow for that. Like, Strip Monopoly needs to be fast. There should be lights off quickly. No one wants to. No.
You'd be surprised.
I can't. I don't know.
Like, what? Okay. What other way? Okay. And Laura, that's all I've got so far. Always great. Well, I'll keep working on it. Eva did say love interest plus you as someone else. Yes, that's a great idea. So awesome. JC is like, ooh, I don't know if that was to Eva's prompt or to Laura's writing. Either way, there we go. Someone write that laughing. Tiff, you write the fastest. If you could write all these, thank you. I don't write that fast. I would, and I don't know. I feel like Morgan gives me a run for my money.
She's crushing it. She did finish book 3 in one night, 30,000 words.
I wish.
Maybe not quite that, but
that's my memory.
Is there more? Is that the end? I think that was to Laura, who said there will be more. I just gotta write it now. I'm not having that conversation. JC, it was not my idea. That's all I have to say.
Was there tequila involved?
Not having that conversation. It's not after dark. That was to Eva's, but both could apply. Especially to a sleepy
baby, happy baby.
Okay, final.
No, Jason.
No, she did not finish book 3 in one night.
Oh, I was kidding. That was a joke. That was an ill-timed joke. That's what that was.
All I'm gonna say, Eva, is I did not get naked. That's all I'm saying.
Had the people that had gotten naked manscaped? Because that would be awful. Like if you hadn't prepared to be naked and then you're naked, everybody's like, oh, wow. It's been a while. You know?
Nobody got fully naked, but the ones who came close did not look bad. That's all I got.
Okay.
It'd be me. I'd be like, let me see. Okay. Okay.
Oh, that'd be gross.
Oh,
Don't sit on someone's couch naked.
yeah.
Unless it's vinyl, no. Always a no.
It was on the floor and there was blankets. That's again, this is more conversation than I wanted. Should have kept my mouth shut. Okay. All right. So now that we've taken innocent out of the game and we've turned it differently, would we still all start in the same place with writing it if we were going to go with the different ways that we decided we would change it up?
No, I still start in the same spot.
Okay.
I don't know. If I take innocent out, it would be a fiction, so it'd be completely different. So, so yeah. So no, it would be completely different. Hey Rachel, you just missed us talking about funny stories.
I think that I would actually change. I think I would start at the beginning because I would want to know what prompted her to go into the club.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
Interesting.
No, this is not the new prompt. A stream where everybody turns the camera into a stream Monopoly. It's a comedy. It would have to be. But I do. Okay, so I have one last question, and then we can either open it up or we can be done because we're pretty close to that hour mark. That's my question. That poem flew out of my head. It was a good one too. It has something to do with outlining, and I totally forgot. Okay. Oh, I remember. Okay. Do you start in this type of a prompt with world building or with character?
For me to be character.
Same.
Yes. I think that usually comes first for me, honestly.
It depends, but for this, for sure, it would be character because that would be the crux of my story. Mm-hmm. So the world will fill in later. That'll be passes later. That'll get that fixed. Yeah. It's pretty white room in the beginning drafts for me.
I would say character as well. As much as I love, kind of building my worlds, I too sometimes have a white room conversation, which someone, Morgan, has called me out on. Like in some of my writing, like, what does this room look like? I don't know. Then also, she's also been like, okay, I don't need to see that much of the room. So yeah, I feel like it would probably start character first. Rachel also said character, always character. We had some highs for Rachel when she came in. Regina said, in this kind of prompt, I would jump in and let the characters and action just unfold as they interact. I love that. Eva also said character when I'm writing what I want, plot when I'm writing to market. Very interesting. That might be true. Because if I were going to do this, say, like as a short read, as a market type of thing, then I maybe would start with what are the tropes and figure that out first. and then figure out where those characters play into that trope. So yeah, that's very true. If it comes to, like, say, writing to market, I agree. Innocent game that takes a turn, hide and seek gone horribly wrong in the Appalachians. I like the specific of the Appalachians. I think that's kind of interesting. So yeah. JC also agrees, character first for me always. When I'm writing romance novels, I often have to let the characters tell me their names first. Very interesting. Like, you're just going I'm curious about that, Regina. Like, are you just going through like a name book, or like thinking up names and then waiting to see which one like clicks? Or how does that work where the characters tell you their names? Because do you guys feel like the characters tell you their names, or like how important is naming a character for you guys?
I think that varies with the story. Some characters will come to me with a name, and then other characters I have to scour through baby name sites trying to find a name that fits them.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar. So usually it's weird. Usually I have an easier time naming the less important characters, or the I don't know if it's pressure or something. I feel like main characters are always hard for me to name. So it's rare if those come to me with a name right away is actually unusual for me.
I'm still waiting for Ned to walk through my door and tell me his story. But once he does,
aren't we all? Y'all
are gonna be like, "Oh, baby."
Oh, Ned. One more time, Ned. Yeah.
I feel like I missed a lot. LOL. What did I walk back into?
What part did you walk in?
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Full on whole thing. Like a focus on the happily ever after and a trope when I'm doing romance. Yeah. Richard, I am filling in the form. Yay! Awesome. Yay! I agree. Better late than never. We are excited. Well, those hillbilly hills do be the most cursed and haunted. So many people have just vanished. So yeah, that could be interesting.
I do like that.
Eva is a great name for a character. Works for any age, any personality, the good guy, the bad guy, the love interest, or the
Agree.
Regina said rename secondary
that.
names can come out of a book, but main characters have to tell me who they are, and then follows it up with, "Don't tell my psychiatrist." I accidentally told my therapist that I kidnap people. It was a whole thing. My characters always talk to me, and they will definitely tell me how when I've gotten their names wrong. So yeah, there we go. Ned needs Monopoly tip. I mean, he could. Then we went to a whole. No, not Ned Flanders, Richard. It's a sexy Ned. It's a beautiful Ned. It's a wonderful Ned that everybody will love. No, we are not waiting for that, Barrett. Yes, we are. We are waiting for Ned, because Ned is going to be great. If y'all create an anthology, I will pay my editor to do the job. What?
I mean, I do think we should do an anthology. We've actually talked about this, but that's a lot, Regina. Now we can we'll revisit because we've actually already talked about this. And yes, we may do a Kickstarter or something. So I know, yeah, that's huge. Yes, but yes, we do want to do that. We have discussed that.
Mm-hmm.
Nedthology. Oh my God, can you imagine if the first one we did? I actually think that might be a marketing brilliance. The first one. Everyone has to have a character named Ned.
That might be when Ned walks into the building. Ned might enter the chat for that. Take her up on this. I'll buy a copy. Richard said
Regina, we'll circle back because that's a lovely idea. I do want to.
Yes, our sexy Nettie Bear. I agree with that. Regina, I will make sure not to tell my future therapist that my characters talk to me.
That's okay. Happens to the best of us.
And that's where we get to the Nedthology. She's like, I mean, yes to the anthology. This guy's like, listen, Nebula's Dracula or Kraken, Duke of Nedlin is I mean, you guys could come up with some really great stories together. We maybe could. It might be kind of fun. Yeah. Find a sexy Ned to post for the cover. We can work on that. I like it. All right, guys. Anything else that we can consider? Anything else? Any other questions you guys have in the chat? Nothing about Monopoly. God save King Ned. Yes. Any other questions?
So,
any other ideas?
I would say, just to remind everyone, we're not here next month. And then we'll be back in June. And in June, calendar of sexy Neds. Oh, I kind of love it. And then we'll be back in June with our first guest, JC Carpenter. And then July looks like Richard Holiday.
Well, technically, Richard signed up for June because I didn't edit the form.
Oh, okay. So Richard in June, and now JC, you got a reprieve to July. So JC is in July.
Yeah, we can switch it.
Okay.
Richard's June. Welcome to June, Richard.
For Richard. And
so we're gonna miss you all in May, and then we'll be back on Morgan's channel.
Hold on. Richard said I can do July.
But then JC said Richard can have June.
July. So JC is in June. So JC has June.
So he will do June.
Okay.
So
there's a form, Regina. We have a form.
We have Regina, July in for there's the form. If you have any issues, would like to us to help you fill.
I'll drop it in the chat.
Lord help me, I can't read, y'all. It's the thing. Fill the form out. We'll help you. We'll be better. Y'all. She's already decided we're publishing in Neduary.
Yes.
Wait, now JC is saying, okay, I'll do June. What's going on? I agree. What is happening? Yes, Regina, there is a form. Oh my gosh. Barrett also dropped the link on it. And if you would like to, I think we may at some given point, I almost said next year, this year, later in the year, if you would like to join us to do a round robin writing prompt along with us, fill out the form as well. You guys can come in and we'll pick a prompt and all of us will write to the prompt and make one big story. And who knows, it might be featured in our Nedthology.
Nedthology, that's so great. Yay. Well, good. Thank you.
Well, I think I signed up for June because it's my birthday month.
That's it. That's right. You did.
And I just signed up for the first available month. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. Command decision.
Executive decision right here.
JC gets June. Richard gets July. Regina gets August if she fills out the form. So she has to throw some form. And September, we round robin at dawn. No.
Okay. At dawn? Well, Morgan and I'll be there. Are you will make it?
Okay, so
it's like we round robin at 12:45
in the afternoon. That is our dawn.
It's July, so let me take July off. Okay.
May are off, Eva, because Tiff goes to Colorado. Morgan's heading somewhere. I've forgotten. I'm gone in May too. We're all gone. Yeah. Each of us are gone. I'm in Puerto Rico. We're all gone at some point in May. So it was too hard.
So yeah, LOL, I'll come just to include Ned. Love it.
Oh, bless.
I mean, June would be good. My book comes out late June. Okay. But whatever. Well, but it'll already be out, Richard, by July. So then we can push the book. So yeah, July will also be fun. Exactly. Oh yeah, you already answered May. Producer, August is my birthday month. So there we go. Yes, this is exactly why I said it. Most people don't get it, but if you know, you know. We don't talk about May. Yeah, we don't. Richard's book comes out in June. Woohoo! And if you have not read his other books, by all means, pick those up. They're awesome.
Agreed.
And Laura, 3 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 1 Mississippi. The voices of the other kids are muffled through the heavy door of the closet under the stairs. I'm the initial hider in this game. Oh, and then we're back to the original thing that you said?
No, I think she's got part 2, right?
Oh, sardines. The others will seek me out and join me until the final seeker is the last to open the door and end the game. Winter coats stifle my breath, hanging all around me. Phantom arms caress. I lost all of you because I think that's all of it. Okay.
Yeah,
She posted. We will all already know about your book. Not a great place to market to readers, I don't think. It's a writer's workshop. But we can still talk about it, and then you guys can tell people, and everybody can tell people. July is absolutely fine, you guys.
Part 3. Yay!
Can't wait. LOL. Sign up for his newsletter so you're not behind, which is very true. It'll be fun. Here's the sign up for Richard's newsletter, and to quote him, do it, please. I just filled out the form for August. Look at us. We're gonna be amazing.
We're gonna have people with us.
Neck, unseen fingers pressed against my carotid artery. I must stay still, keep silent, but my hair stand on end as a voice whispers just behind the shell of my ear. Victoria. Nope, I need a. To which Des Lorre says, my niece is messing with my keyboard. So, woohoo, Regina, that's amazing. Phantom. So can't post the rest. That's okay. We're good. We can wait for it. We'll have our emotional support blankets for when you do.
I'll be ready.
So good,
I'll be
Laura
ready.
and niece. Yay, Regina. Yes, Barrett has lasers. He has all kinds of fun stuff on his screen.
On our Macs. We will see you all in June with the author JC Carpenter.
Yes. All right, guys. We don't have a really. Oh, wait a minute, hold on.
Bless you.
Need a different hiding spot. I reach out to the doorknob, metal cool and unyielding. I try to turn it again and again. Nothing. No, I shrink back into the embrace of puffy sleeves and fur-lined something. Fur-lined hoods. The smell of mothballs emanates from them. Nasty scent stuffing up my nose. Victoria. The voice comes again. The doorknob rattles. Turning on the other side of the closet, I rise, pushing through the dragging arms of cloth and goose down. Victoria, asked Jonathan, sliding into the embrace of coats, closing the door behind him. No, I yell out, trying to push past him, but the doorknob is locked tight once more. What's wrong? Jonathan whispers. Yeah. So, Esther's streaming. Good luck with that.
Oh yeah, we've gone over.
Canceled.
Oh, she's not streaming?
Yeah, she's having internet issues.
Oh no. Oh, okay. See, I see it a little bit further. No, she's not. We're always glad that you stopped by and hang out, Richard. Regina signed up. We are good. Okay. So, yeah, I see. No, she canceled. Okay. And Regina wants to know, Laura, why aren't you writing for Hollywood? Yeah.
Great question.
I just saw her community tab post. So yes. All right. So right, Regina, exactly. So we're gonna go. We don't have a cool outro, so we're pretty much just gonna roll out the way that chaos normally does. See ya, peeps.
Bye.